Hello, everyone. It's time for Vanishing Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 460, season 19. Today's date is August 2nd, 2025, and welcome to the show. To my Greek friends and family, kalos ήρθατε, and yasos, that means welcome and hello. Okay. So that feels good saying that because there might be Greek people listening. People that I know, of course, but that's fine. So on today's program, I'm going to talk about a restaurant that was in the 1980s. It was called Bill Knapp's. They were based out of Michigan, but they had a few locations in the Chicagoland area. I'll talk about its history of that restaurant. Also, I have a menu that I found from the 1980s. Also, I'll talk about the 30th anniversary of the closing of Kroch and Brentano's bookstore that was located at 29 South Wabash Avenue. They had other locations, and I will talk about its history and my memories and why it closed. Before I get started, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Adolph's Meat Tenderizer. It's like a powdered thing. You don't take like a hammer and go boom, 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 boom on your steak. No, it's not like that at all. So here's a commercial from 1978. And so sit back and relax. Let's go back to the late 1970s for Adolph's Meat Tenderizer. Now, I'll be right back with the rest of the show, folks. Thank you.
About the time I started buying prime meat, I stopped using Adolph's Meat Tenderizer. But not for long. I found that without Adolph's, my meat just didn't have as much flavor and juice. With Adolph's, even my expensive prime meat tastes better. It's a fact. So now, I'm not only using Adolph's again, I've got garlic and steak sauce flavors, too. Look, I don't have to use Adolph's. I want to use Adolph's.
Okay, everyone, I am back. Excuse me. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Adolph's Meat Tenderizer. It's still around. You can buy them at Amazon or Jewel, Food Store, or Target, Walmart. What it is, it's food seasoning, and it was owned by the McCormick and Company. You know, like the McCormick spices, and it was owned by Lawry's. Remember Lawry's? They had their restaurant, Lawry's Prime Rib, that was located in the Gulf Coast neighborhood of Chicago. That closed in 2020. So I heard it's been closed for 5 years, but now they're gonna use it for something else. It's a shame because I've never been to that restaurant and I always wanted to. And I heard the prime rib was excellent. So someone sent me an email asking me, why don't you talk about Lawry's? The prime rib restaurant. I said, I will someday. I will do that. Hopefully I can find a menu and this will be good. Oh, I heard the food's excellent. And you heard the commercial. It came with, garlic. And what was the other? I forgot the other one was. So you use this, to prepare your meat, like steaks or, excuse me. Sorry to cough like that. Something in my throat. Let me drink my water. Much better. That's terrible. So you use this to tenderize your meat. You're even using hamburgers or any type of meats, chicken, fish, or something like that. But I think it's just meat tenderizer, like steaks and chops and stuff like that. My mother never used this. I don't recall her buying this at all. I don't know if she knows what it is, so I've explained to her. But I guess people still use it for this day. Okay. All right. Now, so in the beginning of the program, I mentioned I'm going to talk about Bill Knapp's restaurant. They had a few locations in the 1980s. They had that. And also, I will talk about the 30th anniversary of the closing of Kroch and Brentano's bookstore that was located in Chicago. And they had other locations. I will talk about that first. Before I get started, I want to give you a health update because I mentioned that yesterday in, let's see. So, yeah, I mentioned it when I posted it. So anyway, so that's my health. I went to my regular doctor Wednesday morning, and I got some blood work done. I mentioned people that I posted. My cholesterol was good. It was 129. My calcium levels are down, so I don't need the Zometa. I don't think I do. They haven't mentioned anything about that. What else? My glucose is slightly high. The reason is I'm going through chemo. And that causes to increase. Okay. So it causes to increase. And my oncologist says once you're done with the chemo, it'll drop down to normal, whatever it's supposed to be. So I'm sort of like the borderline pre-diabetic. So I got to watch my sugar. You know, I've been trying to do that. It's not an easy thing to do. No, it's not. But I'm doing my best, you know. And, you know, sometimes, you know, people on Facebook go like, get away from the sugar, get away from the sugar. Even they're telling me what to do. I don't even know these people, and they're telling me. It's kind of silly. Well, I don't care. Anyway, so anyway, what else is so everything's fine. Blood pressure's good. Next appointment I go for my chemo is August 11th. And let's see what else. Oh yeah. So we'll see why that happens. I also have an appointment with the urologist at let's see what else. Yeah, yeah, I have to see the urologist because I'm still having problems with leakage and all that. So I think he's going to suggest to me I will get an operation that will fix it. I hope so, you know, because it's been going since March. You know, it's 5 months. I mean, it's ridiculous, you know. So I should have stopped a long time ago, but I'm still leaking. So this is very serious. And also get a lot of emails and messages from people saying, "Oh, that's wonderful news, and you're on your road to recovery." I hope so. Because I'm halfway done with chemo. I've got 5 more to go. I've completed 5. So we'll see what happens on the 11th, if the PSA will start to decrease, hopefully. If it does, I'm on my way. If it's stuck or something like that, that's up to the oncologist. What he'll decide. Maybe to stop the chemo or try some other medication. We'll see what happens. I don't know about that. Okay, right now I'm going to talk about Kroch's and Brentano's bookstore. It's not a restaurant. I get confused with the restaurants. You know, who cannot forget this place? It's a Chicago institution, and it's people have not forgotten it. And it was a great bookstore. They had everything, great employees, and whenever you wanted to look for a specific book, they will look it up for you. And they had either they call in New York or they ordered, you know, the old-fashioned way. They did that for you, which is kind of cool. So let me give you the history of this place. So let's see. It was formed in 1954. It was merged with Brentano's. I think they have a branch in New York. So it was founded in November 22nd, 1954. Okay. The founder, it started with, there was a man, he was an Austrian immigrant. His name was Adolf Kroch. And he founded a German language bookstore on Monroe Street in 1907. And then he switched to English language books. And then he moved to a larger store at 2022 North Michigan Avenue. And then, so it was there about 15 years. Then it became Kroch's International Bookshop, and it moved to 206 North Michigan. And then it was there for like about 30, almost 25 years. And then they closed that store in 1953. But in 1933, Adolf Kroch bought the Chicago branch of the New York-based Brentano's bookstore, and that's been in Chicago since like in the 19th century, 1884, like that. So he kept the name Brentano, and so it's Kroch's and Brentano's. That sounds good. If you go to Kroch's bookstore, I think that sounds better, like that way. So Adolf Kroch retired in 1947, and his son Carl took over. And then in 1953, 1 year prior for opening the bookstore, he announced that he would form the world's largest bookstore. And he would merge all the Kroch stores and all the Brentano bookstores. And then he got a storefront at 29 South Wabash. And the rest was history. And it was 40,000 square feet of retail space. That was huge. It was a big place. And in the basement of the store, they had another store called Super Bookmark, and it carried paperbacks, low-cost hardback green prints. I remember they had Cliff Notes down there. So that was cool. That was cool. And they also had art books there, and their sales clerks were very knowledgeable. I don't know if they were trained or they just were very smart. And they also had a mail order center, and they tracked down obscure out-of-print titles for customers around the world. That is amazing. That really is. I would like that. And they also exhibit painters, with their works on the walls. And they hosted, whenever like a celebrity or some famous author, had a book published, they would Kroch and Brentano would contact them, and they would ask them to make an appearance and sign autographs, and they did. And there were a lot of celebrities, lots of them, all throughout the years, and it's amazing. And usually, when I visited there, and when it was crowded, that it's someone famous there. People waiting in line to get, to get an autograph. The funny thing is, Carl Kroch refused to offer discounts on the stores. I kind of not agree with that. I don't think he should have done that. Maybe that'll help, but I guess not. So, and then it was funny because Crown Books opened. Remember Crown Books? I did a podcast about them. They opened a store nearby, and they weren't affected by the competition. It's like that. So I don't know. So my memories of going to the store is I used to work downtown many times, especially in the 1980s when I worked at City Hall. I used to visit there all the time on my lunch hour. It was quite a hike, but I made it there. I loved going there. Some of the staff would yell at you, when you're reading a magazine or a book, says, this is not a library. Read, buy it or get out. They would do that. And so that was fun. And I love going to the basement. I don't know what was upstairs. I don't remember that, So once I entered the store, you see the magazines. I love reading the magazines. Or I go to the biography section or the entertainment section, and get a book like that. And it was fun. So they had 22 stores in the Chicago metropolitan area. So they had that one in Evergreen Plaza. I remember that. They had one in Oak Brook Center, Old Orchard, up in Skokie. There were one on Michigan Avenue downtown. Let me see where else was there. Maybe Fox Valley, probably. I'm not sure. Southside, Calumet City, they had it at River Oaks there. What else? Oak Park, Illinois. They had one on Lake Street. remember that. I think Ranhurst had one, the shopping center. I think it did. Or Hawthorne Center up north. So the ones I visited, mostly was downtown. I never went to the one in Evergreen Plaza. No, I never went there. I think I went to the one in Oakbrook Center once. I think I did, probably. So then... So in 1986, Carl Kroch stepped down as president and CEO, and he sold the chain to his employees in 1986. And that decreased from 22 to 17 locations. And so that forced to close all the stores in suburban mall locations, and there were only 7 in the Chicago locations, only in the city. And it was on the verge of bankruptcy. So they tried to, turn the business around. It didn't work. It didn't work. There was too much competition. And then in June 1995, it was liquidated. And the last of the remaining stores closed on July 31st, 1995. So that was that. And, when I went downtown one time and I passed by the location, the one on Wabash, it broke my heart. I was so sad. My favorite bookstore in the whole world was gone. That's so sad, like that. We need more bookstores. Borders came later on. That was a good store. I liked it, but that closed eventually. I will talk about that store someday. But Barnes & Nobles that entered in the Chicagoland area later, and you know what? It's thriving. That's great. And I heard they're going to open another store. I forgot where. I think Naperville or something like that. Yeah, they're going to open another store. That is awesome. That's good because I still go to that bookstore. I love going to bookstores. I like to browse. It's very relaxing. You can get a cup of coffee. You can sit there and read. They won't yell at you. No, they won't do that. So that's cool like that. To this day on Van Chicagoland, whenever I post something about Krochs and Brentanos, the memories come in for people. They love it. They commented. I love reading the comments. It's awesome. It really is. And it's fine to search things on eBay or anywhere on the internet for memorabilia. Yeah. I still like to find pictures of bookstores. I would love that. That would be great. That would be great at all. I mean, not at all. I mean, it would be great. Sorry. It's kind of sad. I wish it'd come back. 30 years has passed on this. Oh, so long ago. I think this younger generation don't get it. I don't think so, because they could read on their phones and their tablets. That's not the same. I'd rather have a hard copy book. You could relax, lie down on the couch or in bed or sitting down, read a book. It's a wonderful thing. I love to read. I really do. I love to read. Okay. Right now, I'm going to play a commercial for Bill Knapp's restaurant. This is from 1983. And when I come back, I'm going to talk about the history of this restaurant. And I have a menu from that place. So sit back and relax, and let's go back to the early 1990s for Bill Knapp's restaurant. Thank you.
The two of us working, and the 2 kids, we eat out a lot. I used to feel guilty till we found Bill Knapp's. I noticed things there, like our onion rings are all different sizes, and my chicken's cooked on a real grill. And sometimes the chocolate cake is a little lopsided. That's how I can tell it's cooked from scratch. We never have time to cook food like this, but we always find time to eat it.
Bill Knapp's. When you cook from scratch, it shows.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Bill Knapp's. This isn't from Chicago. I don't know where the commercial is from. Probably some Michigan, other state. That's where it was originally founded. So let me tell you something. I've never been to this place. I wish I did, because I heard the food was excellent. The reason I'm going to talk about Bill Knapp's restaurant, a lot of people don't remember it. Someone emailed me and said, "Can you talk about this place?" And I said, oh, let me check it out. So I did a little research on it and read, and I said, oh, this sounds awesome. Yeah. And I said, yes, I will. I will talk about it. I hope he's going to hear it. So, all right. So I'll read the history of Bill Knapp's right now, and then I will read a menu. This will be fun. So Bill Knapp's was a American family restaurant chain. It was founded in 1948 in Battle Creek, Michigan, I believe. And the chain not just Michigan, but they had it in Ohio, Florida, Illinois, and Indiana. And they had about 60 locations at one time. Wow, that sounds awesome like that. The man who founded it, his name was Clinton B. Knapp. Okay, and it's spelled Knapp. Not 3 P's, 2 P's. So it's Knapp. Okay. The restaurant featured a menu, typical family dining items. They had a limited breakfast, sandwiches, baskets, luncheons, dinner plates. Also, they had a children's menu featuring meals named for animals. I like to get that one. The recipes had fried chicken, bean soup, ham croquettes, vegetable soup, onion rings, au gratin potatoes. Someone mentioned they were awesome. And chocolate cakes. Ooh, that sounds good. And they were made from scratch. I believe they were. I hope so. And Bill Knapp's was known for its birthday and anniversary discounts. So let's say a guest who's 62 years old, like I'm going to be 62 in October, I'm going to receive a 62% discount. Okay. Or those celebrating a wedding anniversary, they were treated to a whole chocolate cake to take home. That sounds awesome. When the cake was being presented, they would play a recording of Bing Crosby singing "Happy Birthday" or the anniversary song. Oh, wise choice. So that's amazing. So it was recently prized. Service was wonderful. Okay. Then it faced hard times. It was trying to get a younger family crowd. But, young people don't like to go to sit down restaurants, which is silly. I mean, they'd like to go somewhere, pick up something, and go. That's how it is. And then they tried to do that. It didn't work. And then it closed in 2002. Now, in the Chicagoland area, they had locations. They had one in Hoffman Estates. They had that. They had one in Deerfield, and there were 2 in Arlington Heights, and also in Lisle. That was the last one to close. Those locations closed. So it entered in the Chicagoland area around 1983, something like that. And I think Hoffman Estates was the first one open. It could be, or Deerfield. I'm not sure, but I think it's Hoffman Estates. And it was doing well for a while, so it lasted about 6 years. And then in 1989, they started closing, but they left the Lisle location. But that closed about later on, maybe September or December of later that year. And then they were all gone like that. And I read some comments from people. They say, I don't remember this place. I never heard of it. Some people mentioned they went to the ones in Michigan. They said the food was awesome. And they did. Or Ohio, they did that. And then whenever they saw the Bill Knapp sign, they went in and they ordered the food, and their desserts were awesome. So I have a menu, and I'm going to read that right now. So this will be fun. Okay. So here we go. I'll start with the lunch menu. I'll get to the appetizers later, but I'll go for luncheons. So they had chopped steak, tenderloin steak, chicken and biscuits, ham steak, ham croquettes, which I just mentioned. That sounds good. Quarter southern fried chicken, pork chop, fried shrimp, French fried clams, French fried scallops, and fried perch. And let's see what else. So they had luncheon served with vegetables, potato salad, au gratin potatoes. They said it was awesome. Tossed salad, coleslaw. Let's see, onion rings. They had that. Also, they had new croissant sandwiches, sliced breast of turkey, grilled ham and cheese, chicken salad, tuna salad, and served with a cup of soup. They had New England clam chowder, either large or small. They had that. Brunch treats, they had broccoli quiche, their famous pancakes or French toast served with bacon or ham, and 2 eggs and your choice of sides. They also had basket meals. It was served with French fried potatoes or onion rings. So they had a steak burger, jumbo steak burger, cheese deluxe or olives, fish in a basket, and chicken in a basket. That sounds good. Okay. Soups, they had it by days. Well, I'll just read the types of soups they had. The chicken noodle, cream of tomato, chicken, what was the other one? Mushroom. Yeah, that's about it, But it went from Monday to Tuesday. So you can have a bowl or a cup. Okay. They had steak burgers. They had patty meals, jumbo steak burgers, or you can serve with 8 cheese. Salads. They had chef salads, chicken or tuna, cottage cheese and pear, tossed salads, choice of dressings, whatever you want. Sandwiches. They had grilled steak ham on bun, stacked ham and cheese and bun, sliced breast of turkey with hot gravy, bacon, lettuce, and tomato, BLT, grilled cheese, tuna fish salad, chicken salad, club sandwich, and fried perch on a bun. Never had perch on a bun. No. Beverages, they had coffee or decaffeinated, tea, iced tea or regular tea, soft drinks, tomato juice, hot cocoa with whipped cream, or skim milk if you're on a diet. Okay. Appetizers, they had shrimp cocktail and soups. They had that. Dinners, they had chopped steak, top sirloin steak. I mentioned these before. Tenderloin steak, steak and chicken, half southern fried chicken, ham steak, pork chops, broiled Idaho rainbow trout, seafood platter, French fried scallops, sweet and tender fried clams, fried perch, French fried shrimp, and steak and shrimp. The side orders, I mentioned them before. I'll mention them again. Coleslaw, tossed salad, potato salad, sliced tomatoes, cottage cheese, buttered vegetable, au gratin potatoes, French fried onion rings, and baked potato. Okay. They had a health fair, a section for healthy, if you're on a diet. Tossed salad, vegetable, sliced tomatoes, coleslaw, low-fat cottage cheese, and unsweetened applesauce. I like applesauce. That sounds good. Let's see if I didn't forget anything. No. Right now we get to the good stuff. Now we're going to get desserts. That sounds good. Desserts, they had the hot fudge cake deluxe. Oh, it sounds so good. They had large and small. Served with whipped cream and sauce. That sounds awesome. They had hot fudge sundaes, home-style pies. You can have it with a scoop of ice cream, a la mode. Whipped cream. If you were in Michigan, they had Michigan apple pie. Someone told me that's awesome. I never tried it. That sounds great. Okay. Chocolate layer cake. They had that. That was famous. Strawberry shortcake. I love strawberry shortcake. Strawberry sundae. Extra rich French ice cream and sherbet or sherbet, whatever you want. And so that sounds awesome. Good. Everything sounds delicious. Okay, so that's it for this menu and the show. Okay, so I'll do a recap of what I've talked about on today's program. I discussed about the 30th anniversary of the closing of Kroch's and Brentano's bookstore that was located at 29 South Wabash Avenue in Chicago. That was downtown, and also other locations as well. Also, I read a menu from Bill Knapp's restaurant. They had locations in Michigan, Ohio, Florida, and also a few in Illinois. And that was in the 1980s. Okay, this podcast will be published later on today, wherever podcasts are available. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Good Pods, Podbean, Breaker, Overcast, whatever apps you have on your phone, your tablet. Excuse me. Just tap on those, tap follow, you received a notification of the latest episodes. All the rest of the episodes are there. Also, it'll be on my blog, vanchicagoland.blog. I'll have it posted there. You can click on the links. It'll take you right there. All the episodes are there. Also on my YouTube channel, and again and again and again, people always ask me, where do I find your podcast? Where do I find your podcast? The easiest way is find them on YouTube. Do a search, Picastanis, that is my name, or the podcast, which is the YouTube channel, Van Chicagoland Stories. Click subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. You can listen to the latest episode. You will receive a notification for that. Also listen to previous episodes if you like. And also be sure to have my social media accounts, Facebook, X, Reddit, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, TikTok, Threads, and Instagram. I'll have the link there. Okay, that was fun. I will do another podcast episode tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I will think about it for the rest of the day. I will post later on to tell you a preview of it. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay. So this is Speaker Stanish, your host of Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. Today is a beautiful day. It's Saturday. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. It's not hot, thank God. And I will do another podcast episode tomorrow. So here's bye-bye for me, and here is our favorite person in the whole wide world, the Chicago legend Ray Rayner, with a little traveling music saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.